you hear the shots, you know it is going live, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Intel Extreme Masters qualifiers, the final round of this best of 5. It is player-unknown battlegrounds and a place for Oakland up for grabs and the $200,000 tournament. 4 of the teams competing in this final round are going to be going to Oakland. I'm Lydia Smith, and joining me is Matt Matcham Oaks. And, well, Matt, where do we see this one going? The final points have just come in, so we're going to quickly check them as we see. Okay.
They're just doing so good right now. They're at 1,100 points. Well, 1,120 points, all things considered. Behind them, 200 points is White Kids. Back behind them, only 10 points behind is Against All Authority. And then coming up right behind them, almost, 250 points back behind them is going to be Crimson. So really, it's we still have a lot of things that are up in the air, because right behind them for that 5th place spot is going to be Tindergold, who's at 645, so only about 40 points between them. So it's going to be really interesting to see who gets those last couple of points and secures. Only the top 4 come through here, so every single point inside of this round is so influential.
And honestly, looking at the spread, I would say all the way down to, say, 16th? Let's have a look. Let's just go down further. Oh, I mean, yeah, maybe down to about 16th. Anyone in 16th has got a chance to reach that 4th place, because all they need is a 280 points, and that's totally doable. You have a good round, you have a good chunk of kills. G2 have just proved that. They've just skyrocketed up that chart into 6th place. Here we go. Final round underway. Let's have a look at the plane. It is going straight from south to north over Sosnovka and up to Georgie.
This is a very interesting little plane route that we have going here. It is going to allow people to go towards military base, and naturally, Georgia Pool will be on the table. But most of the eastern side of the island is entirely going to be open. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these different squads are going to react. We talked about it beforehand. They come in with different loot strategies, specific strategies based off of their drops, how they're going to come through. Are they going to do a trash looting strategy? Or are they going to drop into a major metropolitan area, try to get some more loot, more condensed loot? Are they going to drop down and instantly try to find vehicles? All of these things are going to be really, really big based off of this really odd angle of this last airplane.
So let's see, where are the big names? And by big names, I'm talking Ivanga, the White Kids, AAA. These guys, all 3 of them, 900 points plus. They are looking golden for Oakland right now. And they have been doing some serious work throughout. But
Hold on at Georgia Pool. What is happening up here? Look at all of these squads opting into a Georgia Pool section.
Oh
I can't even count all the parachutes. This is going to be absolutely insane up here. You talked about it beforehand, earlier in the rounds, how Georgia Pool can sometimes be a nice little area and everybody just kind of agrees. Not going to happen this time around. There's too many people, too much loot to be contested for.
And that's the standard, guys. Okay, so our Vanguard are up there. That's always the same place. Crimson have gone up there. Crimson, obviously, they're chasing for a place. They've been doing very well. They are currently in 4th place, so they have a chance. But there's also another 2 squads as well off to the left-hand side. That's just north. If we look at the south, there's another 4 squads down there.
Look at this. There's squads posted up inside the same duplex right now. You can see that Antifa and Santi are set up with Pants and Viz Q. So everybody's just kind of posted up and trying to figure out how they're going to play around this. The outside of this, Orosam is in the duplex right next to him. There's another squad up to the north of this that's taking on and fighting Pants' teammate. You can see Daiki is trying to figure out where he's going to go to. Fresno is also trying to retreat back. The South Georgia Pool area is looking to be very, very interesting.
I feel like we just flipped and went into one of my pub games. In pub games, you just like everybody into Georgia. It's just, that's how it seems to be right now. This is insane, the amount of people that have gone in it. So we've got 3 squads, make that 4 squads. AAA, though, moved away. They've gone to hospital. So maybe 3 squads, like you say, in South. And I think 4 squads in North.
Well, we do also have the squad in South that's going to be posted up. I think that's going to be AAA that's back over there that's at the hospital. So everybody's just kind of lined up. So really interesting. We are actually having a little bit of a skirmish happening on the north side. As we can see, Inconspicuous has been knocked down.
Yeah, Pants is going to get Vixer. Oh, he nearly chucked his teammate. Nearly down Vixer. Santi got nailed as he came up. Arosa going to get a peek. He's got next to no health. He's got just a single vest on, no helmet. Arosa instead is choosing to, you know what? I'm going to get my teammate up. Gets an AKM off the floor. Thank you very much. Let's try and push this position. Pants is trying to get his teammate up. He may just push up the stairs and catch him with his pants down.
It's important to realize none of these guys have had a chance to really get a lot of meds, armor, helmets, ammo, any of these factors. So we're seeing a very quick retreat. Actually, no. I thought Pants was going to jump out of this. Maybe they're going for a little bit of a mind game. went back, opened the door, closed it back behind them. That should give away that they're still positioned up there. See the res is coming out. Yep. Pants is still looking for line of sights around him. He does have himself a body armor, but no helmet, and they have near on no life. Really, if Oros decides to push up this, it could be really, really bad for them.
Pants, is he going to jump down?
I can't tell.
No.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Like, he jumps out and he's like, maybe, no, maybe. And he's trying to figure out how he wants to play around this, because right now it's really quiet down below them.
Well, no guts, no glory, I guess you could say. They need to get themselves a position. Like I said, it is very open for a lot of these teams. Here comes support. Frenox. I've been butchering his name all day long, but he's got an AKM. He's got himself the hollow. Let's see. There's still all three of them on the ground floor, and they know it as well.
It should be noted that this is going to be a very big fight because this has been going on for quite a while. These guys haven't had a chance to loot, and finally Pants does opt into dropping down. He's going to reposition in, so Fresnos is going to push through on one side, and looks like we're seeing a push coming out now on the bottom side of this.
They're all in this building, all in the corner. Gonna get a peek around Sales Oros. I'm gonna have to free cam it in there because this is just about blocked it. Santi ran out, he had nothing. He just stripped himself down. His teammates in there, and Pants will finish him off. Well, I mean, if you're going to go out...
The bullets. Maybe try to protect your team. But look at this. With all of this fighting that's happening, the squad that was in the northern sections pushing down on top of Pants. They seem to know where this fight is happening at, and they want to jump in and maybe collect some free kills out of this. This is now turned into a 2v4 with really hard aggression coming out. Look at Zixis is just pushing onto the side of this building. He seems to know exactly where they are.
Yeah, he's only got iron sights, but that doesn't matter when you're in a auto situation. There's one. They find it. Frenox is down. And now it is, I believe, just Pants remaining, who has no health, no nothing, just a shotgun and a dream. The grenade trickles in. Is the area explosion going to be enough? No, they went upstairs with it. Okay, he's downstairs. He's in the corner. I think he's in the kitchen. There he is. Takes a shot. They know exactly where he is. Scarel in hand for Miguel. And he's just going to push that shotgun. It should be a simple job, but it's not.
He does manage to get the down and a kill onto it. This is great job coming out from Pants. He's been playing around this building so well with no life for so long. This is going to force Rory and King Kevins to actually come and have to provide some level of support for Zikis.
Yeah, Zikis, I think, did he jump upstairs? He must have jumped across. Oh, Pants, okay, now he's down. Now, there we go. Oh, whoa, Shadow's just been taken down by Blackmane. That's AAA. Where did they go? Okay, that's over in the complex. It's towards Gatka. They've just gone past Gatka, but Shadow is down. Blackmane doing work there.
Still have everybody that's starting to push out towards circle. We had a very violent first circle, but 30 seconds left. Naturally, takes a little while for the first circle to fully condense down, so everybody still has time to reposition. But a lot of squads still not inside the circle as of yet. Remember, we can see that most of them are actually kind of positioned on this lower part of this river. We talked about the influential part of the river and how you can post up around it, get some free kills as people might have to pass different sides. So it's going to be all about how these different guys maneuver and what options that they have. You can see that everybody's still kind of like everybody that's on the southwestern side of this is kind of playing this really slow. Doesn't look like they have all the vehicles that they need, but we can see that G2 has finally gotten into some vehicles and start pushing that direction.
Yeah, Crimson and Vanguard are actually connecting with each other. Bearing in mind this is first and fourth place currently on the tables for Oakland. Bearing in mind the top four will go there. So Dranis just took a couple of shots from Miraku. There is T-Bone, you can see, and Law were on the top of that building off the side, so offering support. Now, both of these teams do need to move, but not quite so desperately. You can see the circle is very much on them. Actually, I think a couple of them are already inside it, so it kind of just eclipses the edge of North Georgia Pole here.
Well, the problem with this is with all these squads kind of playing along this edge, if the circle does not favor this western side, it's going to be really hard for all of these squads to make it out and separate. You can see that's why some of these squads are kind of starting to make their way a little bit more north, get as far away as they can from Georgia Pool. We still have squads that inside of the Georgia Pool area. They're going to have to make their way back out and around.
G2 just about passing by, and they're actually passing by their former buddies. It is the Dominators taking shots. Fantasy gets clean through, maybe honking his horns. He passes and waves at his former teammates there from another life. But as it was, Waco gets through as well as Tyrone. So G2 blasting away towards the ruins.
See that there is actually a crate in between where Araxes is at and where we're seeing that Wacko is at. They're just driving through. I don't think that anybody's really going to lean into going to this at this point. Though Araxes is really giving it a look. He seems like he really wants it.
Yeah, just watching them go by. Monkey's popping down as well. Is he going to take some shots at Waco? Waco is pretty low, you know. It's possible he could knock him, but Monkey looks like he wants to. He's really running to try and get in a position to take the shots, but not going to happen for him. And, okay, whoa, Tyrone just screwed up and nearly flipped it on the bridge. And actually, they're heading straight in. Keen has already moved out. So Keen, the rest of his team are in North Georgia. Keen has already made positioning here, reloading that Scar, getting the extended clip in. And not really managed to land too many shots. I think it's Waco he was aiming at, but nothing really going to go. 40 shots burned out.
But at least he does manage to discourage them from coming in. And we do see, is it Wick that actually managed to secure this right back over here?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that, who was it? Not Wick.
Yeah,
it had to be. Come over here with Oro. Yeah, I don't know. We've got a Car 98. We don't see any really special guns coming out of that, unless it was the Car 98 and that was Araxes that managed to pick it up.
Yeah, maybe. Wick is still pushing along. Araxes is going to back away, and he's behind the rock and he's clear. So let's have a look around then. Okay, shots. That is Tyrone still taking a lot of shots, actually. His rear tire just got took out. His two rear tires got took out. Now he's going to run the gauntlet up the hill. They're trying to get into this complex. It's the complex they were in. Actually, it's a really nice complex, this one. It has a good overlook down the hill. With a decent amount of cover behind them as well. So that's where G2 have chosen to go. Shots continue. That's over in Rozok, school apartments, whatever you prefer to call it. It is a bloodbath over there. I can see vehicles on fire all over the place.
And just Insane has gotten knocked down here. He's trying to retreat back. There's so much damage, and you can see that there's a burning wreck off to the side. Bodies littering the floor. See, they're trying to figure out how they're going to play around this. Naturally, they are inside the circle, so they don't have to push out too quickly. But a lot of shots coming over from the school towards the apartments area. Kakas and his team doing a good job of making sure that not let them easily leave this apartments area, because it looked like that was what was happening, is trying to get into some vehicles and maybe push out of this.
Tyrone continuing the shots. Let's have a look back over towards the school. The shots continue. Velen, he's a long way from his team. I don't know what on earth he's doing. I never really know what Velen's doing, I've got to be honest. He always seems to be in a completely separate area from the rest of G2.
Every team has one of them. Every team.
Look, he's completely been the opposite side of the map, but he's still making his way back there. Oh, he's got to pass straight by the white guys. Wookie Bookie and Trifeli don't actually land any of the shots, though. Velen blasts on through.
Curious to see if maybe he's doing the scouting job right now, but it seems like Wacko and the rest of the team are really positioned up. I guess he's just trying to catch up to them at this point, and it looks like he's going to try to just run through the water, going through one of those shallow areas, and not a lot of shots coming his way, so he might be able to make it up. Nope. Dasi just can't quite make the hill, so now Velen is on foot, it looks like.
You know, we talk about teams that constantly do tend to land in the same area, the same time and time again. Well, obviously we saw Vanga did that in North Georgia Pole, but also Havu did it in Milta. And again, they're just leaving Milta now, so they're making their way out. But they're not going to be central. They're going to be on the edge of the circle. They have a stack of vehicles, though, so I guess they're waiting for the second circle to see just where exactly they need to go.
And everybody's avoiding Stallber right now. A little bit of a skirmish that's happening on the western side of the circle. As you can see that Rory is taking a couple of shots from Uminico. He's kind of set up over there. They're just trying to figure out how they're going to push around and get around Everest itself. But just so many bullets coming out to Rory as he's gotten knocked down to below half-life.
Yeah, he's stuck behind a rock in a hard place. There's not really anywhere to go around there either. It's pretty exposed territory. Let's have a look at the row of migrations. Here comes the next circle. The rotations push forward. Saverni is in the circle. Rozok just about. And speaking of Rozok, there's a lot of shots from Ewan and co. Obviously got 7 kills in that last round. They have that really nice complex. I absolutely love this complex. Has like it's almost fortified effectively with the raised moat around it.
I know. This is one of the stronger buildings if you can end up getting it inside the circle. Just because you have the outer walls, you have the cliff edge, just as long as nobody can sneak up on you, all around it's a pretty strong and defendable spot. See that Wookie Bookie and the rest of his team are making their way into the circle, but we have little bitty tiny skirmishes here and there. Nothing really coming out of this, but you can see that whenever you bring up the map, a lot of these squads are taking vehicles, going around the eastern side, and it looks like they're going to try to approach from the Stallber area, if I had to take a wild guess, try to avoid this really hot contested center area.
Yeah, it's a Vanguard still that are holding this bridge at North Georgia Pole, and King, Kevin, Zykius and Rory all trying to get across here, and instead looks like Zykius is going to drop down and go under the bridge instead to try and get in there. Mumino is pushed up right on the bridge as well, so he's going to likely to be the first person to see. Onoku Q-Tip is going to find them as well. A grenade across could certainly hit its mark, and I think Mumino is starting to suspect this is exactly what's happening. Another vehicle's coming in. It's the Dominators. Dominators coming over. They're going straight into a Vanguard. Oh, Blackman! Oh, he wasn't able to hit him. Mumino's going to down him. And the rest of Mark comes flying through with Kozier. Are they going to get through? Kozier gets down. It is going to be Mark, the last man standing, as he blasts away from his team. He loses the tire, and he just about spins out in a mess as the vehicle goes up. And that is the entire squad wiped out. That brought attention and bought time for Zikis to make the flank, and he's now up on the rocks.
I can't tell if Mumino knows this is coming up or not. You can see that looks like they're doing a little bit of a rotation over. Oh no, Mumino is actually going and getting loot. He's taking a couple of bullets off of this. Here we go, here comes the hard press. Zikis seems to be pushing right up, sneaky right along this wall. He comes around, he can really lay down both of these people.
He comes around, he gets Mumino. Can he get Ono? Oh, he didn't expect Ono to be there, but he gets him down. Absolutely no health alive. King Kevin's now pushed up on the complex, so 2 down for a Vanguard early on. This could play havoc on the points, by the way.
There is so much loot to be had in this little area with all of these corpses that are all stacked up on top of each other. It's all going to be about who manages to get the win off of this. King Kevin's actually holding down this location. Zikis is finishing up the last 2 of them. And look, Drainus is trying to figure out how he's going to play around this. And I think he's just going to end up having to retreat.
Yeah, no kidding. Keen's already got the hell out of there. Drainus is off, so they've both got on a vehicle, and that is it. So Vanguard down to 2 members, trying to play out for the later positions. Rory just a little too slow on the rotation there for me. The rest of his team are already pushed up. He finally joins the party, and they've all gone.
Well, he gets to partake in all the free loot in that case, because, I mean, there are so many corpses right along this bridge right here. If you come over it, I think I can see like 6 or 7 boxes.
Look at Keen. He's actually, is he going to stop here? Dranis and Keen, they're coming right up to this location. It's where G2 are. No, they're going to pass on by. Okay, they're going to pass on by. G2 are not going to be able to hit the shots. And they're just going to drive on by. Encelenso. So we have Havu. They're taking shots. Encelenso is actually in a really tricky situation. He's got himself his vehicle set up, but he's getting shot from the crossroads.
Well, we've talked about it beforehand in the last game. This northern area just doesn't have a plethora of buildings to be had. So everybody's just going to have to opt into whatever they can get out of this. As you can see that we still have 58 people alive, and I believe everybody is now safely inside of the white circle.
Yeah, No Look Gaming taking shots onto Havu there. So they are pinned in. You can hear the rattling shots off the cars as No Look Gaming continue to pepper those vehicles. Encelenso's looks like he's on a scout. Velen completely on his own still. Hasn't joined up with his team. You know, I don't know whether they fell out or what's going on there, but he's in his own little complex, and there is a squad pushing up on him. Now remember we saw that 1v4 yesterday? He may have to do it again.
It'd be really interesting to see how he plays around this. Velen just ended up, you could tell that he was trying to make it over to his friends, but once that car got stuck, the Dacia just doesn't climb hills like it used to. He ended up having to just separate out, figure out somewhere that he could go to, so he opted into this building complex that he's in. But this is a very dangerous building complex because it's a very popular building complex. When you're a solo player, that can end up being really bad. As you can see, that looks like Ewan and the rest of his team are actually doing a push across the river, and they seem to have their sights set towards that building.
Yeah, remember Ewan, 7 kills along with Jockeys. 14 kills between the squad. Did very well in that last round. I think they're happy to just sit on that ledge. Okay, let's have a look at the next circle. It's basically stayed central, you know. Keep talking about these arguments. The circle has stayed central, so no complaints to be had. Encelenso getting shot at by Velen, actually. Some long-range Kar 98 work going on there. Oh, that's giving his position completely away there, look. They are pushing in on him now. They're pushing in. He has no idea because he's not looking. He's a solo player. He's running around with the Kar 98. Now, sure, if he could land one perfect shot, he's trying to hop over the wall. Faust is going to come up. Jockey's in the back. And Velen is down. G2, they're in trouble, man. Velen needs to be with them. There's a vehicle coming in. Where the hell is it?
Oh, it's one of his teammates just coming up and meeting up with him. See, Enzelenzo was just taking a couple of shots down into this as well. And wow, a nice shot coming out from Ewan, getting the down onto that. So that's going to put Enzelenzo in a bad spot. Nobody's going to be able to come res him.
Look at that circle. No Look Gaming are slap bang in the middle of it. So are Havu. For some reason their name was completely escaping me. Everybody else, they have to migrate, and it is going to be a mass migration from the west to the east, and this is going to get messy.
And it's specifically around this western side, as all of these squads opted into the north, so they're above this river. They're all going to have to push back in and around. So we're going to have to see if anybody kind of chooses to go up near Severny. It looks like Laura and the rest of Crimson. Really smart strategy coming up from them. Everybody else is just kind of driving in. And look at this you're seeing actually a hard push coming up from multiple squads on foot right next to each other. This could be really
this is
bad.
a really open territory as well, isn't it? There's really not a lot of cover. I mean, we've got the hills of Stalba kind of slightly in the circle, which will help them out. But other than that, this is such a horrific area because it's very exposed. So vehicles actually could be key here.
Well, it's important to remember that this is actually an upgraded area. There for a while, whenever they did the upgrade to Stalberg, there was just so little over here. They had to add a little bit more to it, so that way there was a little bit more cover. So imagine how it was about 2 months ago, and you can imagine it was just terrible up here. But you can see that multiple squads have kind of gotten their own different positions. I really like where we're seeing Dave the Crazy and Pwn. Their squad posted up. They have some buildings off over there, and they're inside the circle. But everybody's just going right into the center of the circle, and so many bullets coming out.
G2 just decided to find themselves a little hut. Outsiders just found Mayday, I think, there. Gustavo going down. As I say, I'm trying to decide which one to actually go on because there's that many shots going on. It's Havu will sit on because they are bang central. G2 down the line. Absolutely no cover for G2. So if someone blows up their Dacia outside that, they are basically stranded. And that's not a position I don't think they want to be in, but they didn't really have much choice about it. Shots.
Oh, go ahead.
So no, sorry, it's just shots just raining across. They're basically look at Havu. They're basically in the valley, aren't they? And there's just shots ringing across the top of their heads.
Well, you can see that looks like everybody's doing an aggression over towards where Blade is. A little fight happening around this shack right now. Calvin's gotten knocked down. Blade securing several kills off of this, so he's going to be able to clean all this up. A lot of bullets still coming in towards him. He's getting dipped down on life. He's just going to have to run back into the shack, close the door, and be like, please give me a chance to heal.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to shot from, actually. Was it Jolski or Bikini? Yeah, maybe. Yes, it is. I can see shots. Oh, and it was also Outsider and Butts. So there's a crate dropping
angles right now. If you're a Blade squad, you step outside that door, you can get shot from so many different angles.
Oh, G2. Waco stepped outside their little hut and got lit up, so he went straight back in there. Crimson have got themselves to the north of the circle. AAA are just coming out of Severny, so don't forget these guys all for the top 4 finish. G2 need to get some kills here, man, and I don't see them getting it.
At this point, I think that they're just trying to play for position, hoping that they can get the points that they need off of that. But so many people are still alive. Nobody ever wants to go into the shack. It's just kind of what you have to do sometimes. Look at this. Zoda is doing a hard push over here, so he's going to be able to secure and get into this building. But there is a squad that's actually pushing up from the water right back behind him. So bullets are coming out, so he's trying to figure out where he wants to get into on this building. He's going to have to push back around. I don't know if he knows where those bullets happened at.
Take a look at Corentin. Corentin has this little hut, and he has this perfect line for both Havu, and then he looks up and he's got Blade and co that are in that little compartment. He's just flicking between them, and he's got his SKS ready, and then he just looks around the side and he's got G2 ahead of him as well that can take shots on. So he's in this great little sniper hole at the moment.
As long as the circle stays on top of him, he should be fine. But if he ends up having to move, trying to get out of these shacks is just oh so scary.
Yeah, he's got nowhere to go. The tag's onto Blade. Blade gets hit pretty heavy there. Okay, circle. Ooh, look at that circle.
Oh, and it's over next to the lake.
Why?
Why
next do this?
The lake? So we're going to see a lot of people have to reposition, and I'm willing to bet a lot of people hopping in their vehicles and just booking it into the water. So I have to see how good these squads that are posted up around the lake can really defend it. We do have several different squads that are holding here, so it'll be interesting to see how they can prevent anybody from making it over towards the water.
Well, Rory's going to try and push down the white kids holding this garage. They have the Dacia ready, and they're about to get in here, but Rory's in position to take a shot here. Trefeli is already going. Wookie Bookie still in the garage. I think he just got a quick peek there as I'm going to drop the shot away. I want to stick it first person. Thank you very much. Oh, they've lost a tire on the UAZ, but they've got a bike still to get out of there. The trike or whatever you prefer to call it. As they try and black out. Okay, Trefeli, oh well, okay, the Dacia just got taken down that he just left on. And look at the north, the rotations, it is carnage. I don't know where to look.
Everybody's just having to move down as quick as they can at this point. There's still a minute left on the circle, but nobody wants to be the last squad to reposition in.
AAA just got down. Oroxes is the last man standing for him. His 2 teammates just got both wiped out. They moved into this complex for the Magnate. And he's just below Sensi. They know exactly where he is. The grenade's coming in. He's going to pull out with the micro Uzi. Is he going to try and storm that building? I think he's just going to try and hang on, basically, as long as he can until they push.
At this point, that's kind of what you have to do. You can see that Sensei is trying to figure out some type of angle to get onto him. So it looks like he might be pushing back down and around. Xay's I think he might be trying to go for a retreat. He keeps looking over towards these walls. He keeps expecting somebody to push in onto him, but it hasn't happened yet, and I think that's playing a little bit of a mind game with him.
Crimson coming blasting in. Where are they going? They can see them in the distance. They're trying to get through. Let's have a look towards the minimap, and I can see they've just come into the circle. Mayday and Co. on there, but it is really not a lot of cover. They're going to have to make their own cover with his vehicles because their backs are completely exposed. T-Bone's found himself a rock, and he's like, I got a rock, I'm fine. Everybody else is like, yeah, that's great, buddy. That's great. Law's found himself a tree, and looks like Miraku is going to use the UAZ to cover off as they both get absolutely lit up. I think that's from behind.
You can see a lot of fights happen. It seems like everybody that's in this northern area is trying to push down, and it's just bullet after bullet. Squads, there is no proper way to look, as there is a squad on every single vector right now. See, Gustav is positioned right up next to Lore. Crimson's trying to get a little bit of a res off, but just to the north of that, the circle is now pressing in. All of these squads are going to have to start pushing their way back down, and you can see that just on this hillside with nobody inside the circle, there's at least 3 different squads. They're just going to have to figure out how they're going to get down in there.
G2 making a hard push in the open. Jorski is going to get down. Lord manages to find him out. Crimson will down him, and I believe that is G2 eliminated. Along with them, it's going to be Havu also making the move. They're all I talked about it. You know, they had no vehicle. If they lost their vehicle, they were in basically one of those little huts. There was nowhere for them to go. I don't really mind, just going to check out. There has been a squad in this, which is why they're tossing the grenades in. There's nobody else remaining in there, but they're not to know that, so they're just going to blow out the speakers as well as the windows because it's that horrific explosion sound. Let's look to the next circle, and it is a horrible one. Look at the water, though. We talked about it, didn't we? We knew there was going to be a lot of people in that water, as to be expected. Drenis in there, which means Avangar are still alive. Who else can play spoilers on this one? Crimson. You know what? I think they're just going to secure 4th place. They're still going. They still have 3 players alive. Gustav is still in there. He was from the White Kids, I believe, wasn't he, Gustav?
He's still trying to stay alive. I believe he is the last member for his squad, yes. So he's aware of everything that's going on around him. He's just trying to play for as much position as he can, because Crimson right next to them are just holding this hillside, shooting at anybody that tries to encroach on their area. Cruz finally managed to make it inside the circle, so we're down to 29 people up and alive, but 1 minute. And this next circle is going to be pretty brutal, as there is some water inside of it, but it's just really 2 buildings and a lot of planes.
Look at Dave in the blue. He's being that guy, and he actually took shots. He's actually causing problems for Crew and Janssen. He's already taken one of the No Loot Gaming guys down, but he is holding the angle. Did Oroxay survive? Yes, he did. Remember, AAA, they're in 3rd place and sitting very comfortable. Oroxay is still the only man surviving for that, but he's a very experienced player, so I'm sure he'll be fine. Bikini Model, so Havu's still got players alive with Don't Really Mind as well. They need a good finish for this, but nobody really lighting me up so far. Still 27 alive. Is Gustavo going to make a move? No, he's just going to sit this one out.
We do have on the eastern side, you can see that Sensei has gotten into a little bit of a fight with Elastics and Corinth.
Oh, Crimson moving.
A little bit of push in it.
Crimson are moving. Gustavo's going to rush straight up. The shots with the shotgun straight on the back of T-Bone. Thank you very much. I'll take your car. Execution style. And he will steal himself a Dacia.
And I Don't Really Mind is just absolutely lighting up the rest of Crimson. They are now down and out. Vehicle explosion finishes them off. Bikini Model and I Don't Really Mind are still trying to push their way into the circle. Just south of them, we can see that it's Ewan, Fausto, and Awen. So they're kind of set up over there. They're a pretty good spot, but a lot of people are now starting to push back towards them as Bikini Model gets taken down.
Another blast into the water. I'd love to know how many cars are actually in the bottom of that lake right now. There's probably quite a few as another one blasts over the edge. So Bikini Model down. Ewan getting himself the kill there. Let's have a look back around. Spin back towards this building complex because Oroxays and Co. They're all in the blue. They're all going to have to make this move. Oroxays behind them. He's going to get himself one down. That's Sensi. This is sweet revenge for him because remember, this squad took out his team. Has he got any first aid kits? He's going to have to use it now. He's outside the circle. I don't think he has. I don't think he has. He's going down in the play zone. And that is suddenly dropped to 11 people alive. And probably about 7 of them are in the water.
Well, we need to talk about Arwen, Ewan, and Fausto. They have a nice section that they can play off of. They still have vehicles up and active. I Don't Really Mind the only person that can really contest around them. Everybody else is caught up on these fights alongside the water. By the way, D-Man, I did a little bit of quick counting whenever I jumped under the water.
More than 11.
7 vehicles are down.
Oh, okay. Okay, so 7 vehicles. Oh, good lord. I Don't Really Mind's about to get flanked. I don't think he's got any clue. Yeah, he's not even looking to the right. He was just looking straight ahead. So Ewan and Faust take him down. Ewan doing work once again. And honestly, like you say, they have probably the best position. They have the hillside. But not a lot of cover up here.
But I really want to talk about where they set their UAZ at. This is really, really smart. They have this rock, and they have complete line of sight down on the beach. They have to know that a lot of people are going to be playing the water, and they're going to be forced up. So they can actually net in some of these free kills based off of their positioning. Actually, it looks like they decided that they don't like that, so they're going to move to a different spot. Just let everybody else have those free kills, but actually, on his new spot, I think he can still see it as well.
I think it's even better. I think it's an even better position he's just moved into, and inside the circle. Could have gone down to that yellow house. You know, it's completely on its own. There's nobody in there.
To be fair, there are a lot of vehicles that are like exploded right next to it, so you have to assume that somebody's probably around.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, Raptor G just got downed. Didn't see who popped up and took him out. Zuda's been sitting there. Oh, it's Blade. Blade on the edge there, completely unseen. He gets one down. Dynamite's going to pop up, and Cockers has been down. Zuda the only man standing. These guys have been sitting on the edge of the water for so long, and they've just been wrecked. So Gustavo with the shotgun. He obviously just took one down. Q-Boy's going to shoot him in the back as he pops out of the water. And just like that, I think they're just going to win without doing anything. Q-Boy's going to go down in the play zone. And Ewan and co pick themselves up 11 kills, and they didn't really need to do anything about the last 5 squads remaining executed each other.
Hey, to be fair, they didn't go in the water. They positioned themselves well enough and
exactly,
multiple spots to where they didn't have to go into the water strats, because anytime you jump into the water, you're just acknowledging, I can't win this game. Sure, you're just playing for points at that point, just trying to survive as long as possible, but they never felt the need to go anywhere near the waterfront. And man, does it pay off. Look at this. And they still come away with 11 kills, all things said.
So that is Team Pogchamp. Where were they? Ooh, they were in 7th place, you know. They may have just stole the spot from Team Crimson. They may have stole the spot from Team Crimson. With the win and 11 kills.
Is really big. Yeah, that's at least, what, 410 points?
Yeah, where's Crimson? Crimson were doing okay. Crimson, actually, despite how well they were doing, remember they got lit up in a blaze of glory? They actually finished 13th, despite the fact they were looking so good. I think they've just stole themselves a place to Oakland. I mean, obviously we need to wait. Yeah, there's a lot of totting up of kills and scores to go. They have the most kills by far in the top 5. I would say the top 10 they have the most kills. So this is pretty big. Avanga, where did they end up finishing out? Because obviously Draenus just managed to plonk himself in the water. 7th place for them. So pretty sure Avanga are secure 3 kills as well alongside them. The White Kids, how did they do? They were in 2nd place. They had a decent score coming to it. They got 3rd place as well. So pretty sure they're secure. Triple A, they did all right as well, because actually saying that, Orox says, yeah, they finished at 8th in the end. So they had like a couple of 3rd places, 4th places, and then an 8th there. 915 points. I honestly think Team Pogchamp have just qualified for Oakland. We're going to wait to obviously the scores to finish off. We are not the admins, so we're going to wait for that to happen. But my God, what an upset that could be. But I say an upset, it's Team Pogchamp. That's what this is all about, right? To discover new teams.
Discovering new teams, and we talked about it beforehand, seeing all these teams that are unsigned, really coming in, making a name for themselves. I mean, there's a lot of quality teams that we've been seeing play throughout this event. I have to give it to everybody that's participated in it. I know I was talking about it beforehand. There were, what is it? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Wasn't there 319 teams that started on the EU side alone? Yeah,
419 signups, I think, and 318 checked in. That's like, to be checked in, you have to have the 4 members already on the site, everybody ready to go. It's insane.
To whittle that down to just 4, think about that. You have to be the top 1% of constant competitive play. That's such a hard task to overcome. And here we are. We're now just accumulating the points now, seeing who's going to actually come out on top of this. But I have to admit, the more I'm looking at the math on this, I think that we might have seen a little bit of an upset coming through here with Team Pogchamp really jumping up through here. And I know Twitch chat's going to love that, because then they can just overload it with Pogchamps.
Pogchamps, yeah, indeed. 11 rounds of competitive play they've played to reach this position. You can argue fairness, but at the end of the day, a best of 5, you can't get much fairer than that, can you? You can argue about anything. And honestly, we've had some pretty central circles I think, for the last 3 rounds as well. They've been fairly central throughout there. And very different finishes, good spread of finishes. It's about time we had one up in the northwest. I'd preferred it maybe if it had been onto the hills rather than with the water area. We knew as soon as we saw the water it was going to be that sort of style. Maybe up towards Stalba side. They're very entertaining finishes when they're up on them hillside. But Martrim, we are about to make a move, and we're going into your territory at last, your time zone. You've been awake since 5 a.m., but we're now in your time zone. We're moving to North America.
All the teams and names that I know, so I'm not having to butcher everybody's names as we come through here. So that'll be a little bit helpful for me. But yeah, I'm really excited about this because we're going to drop back down, and we're going to do the qualifying rounds, essentially round 2 for North America. Got a lot of interesting play that's going to be coming through here. We're going to see how some of these teams really perform, because I know this is a lot of the really recognizable team name organizations. We've had just a lot of recent signings coming through. Really curious to see how that's going to play out, because I know that there are some definite favorites for North America, but we had some definite favorites inside of EU, and we saw those get overturned really quickly in round 2 this morning. So really kind of curious to see how all of this goes through.
Okay, guys, we need to jump across because America's ready to go. We'll be back in a few moments, guys. Do not go anywhere. We're going to be jumping over to North America in just a couple of minutes, and I mean minutes.